should be in. Decided to get on my newest tank. He had a warning that my name was about to be offered up because I'm only level 1. So I figured I'd get on him, run him through the thing, run him through the tutorial, and play him a little bit. So I decided to jump on and stream it. Gone through character creation and whatnot, and we get enough people that want to watch and want to go through a whole character creation stream, like I can do that, because I got some other plans for some other characters. So but this guy was my antithesis of Mama Magma. So she is a stone aura or armor and fiery melee. So this guy's a fiery armor, aura, and stone melee. So yeah, it's the opposite. And I only made him and then parked him in the hospital to get the caregiver badge. So I need to get his stuff, his items from the start vendor. Got most of his HUD set up already, but yeah. So I'm sure, yeah, those have not been claimed. So you get 5 cool little enhancements for damage recharge and some special damage potential. So I always get all 5 of those. They're free. And then under powers, depending upon his set or his origin, which is magic. So under prestige powers and attacks, you get the Sand of Moo. It's a cone damage, melee damage, undead slaying axe, melee damage with special damage to true undead, and then either Nemesis staff or the Black Wand, depending upon your origin. Again, is which one you should pick, because if you do the origin bonus, you'll get extra damage, but you have to be tech, science, or natural. And the Black Wand, you have to be magic, mutant, or natural. Natural overlaps, but he's magic, so I'm going to do the Black Wand origin bonus, and that's all the freebies. Buff pet, I usually take a shield. I usually just take the blue wisp, unless they're a mechanical thing, then I might take a drone or an oscillator. Everything else except for the travel, and I used to take the jump pack or the steam jump, but now I don't even worry about it. But I will take the prestige sprints. And then under utility, I usually take inner inspiration, and that's about it. Once I get through the tutorial, I will take the experience boost, but I won't take it now, because it's just not necessary, because you're going to be level 2 when you get out of this anyway, no matter what. So now I will go take and put my extra powers down, and immediately click inner inspiration. Oh, athletic run is right there. Let's turn that on. I always put Ghost Slaying Axe there with the either Nemesis Staff or Black One there, and Sands of Moo usually goes on number 5. Sometimes I'll bump them in and put it on 4, which is what I just did. Your Apprentice Charm and your Brawl. The pet, again, I don't hardly use it, but I'll put it up there. And that's it for right now until you turn 2 and you get your health and other things. So we're done with that. I will go in the auction house and throw these inspirations on the auction house, because you're going to get 2 third tier ones once you talk to the guy down the road. So your first contact with the little arrow over his head is Officer Flint. A general tutorial on how to play the game. Accept a mission, follow the directions. It will tell you on the nav bar where they're at. And yeah, done this over 100 times. Well, the tutorial on villains and heroes in Victoria. Not this one exactly 100 times, but yeah. So then you have to return back to Officer Flint. He will introduce you to a new contact. He tells you about some of the stuff. Officer Parks. And he's 363 yards south of us. Talk to him. He tells you about your power bar, basically, and the power tab, and how you can pull stuff down if it doesn't populate. Once you get a level and you pick a new power, it usually populates in the first available spot. And you can move it around. You can configure it how you want. You can have 3 pop-ups here, and then you can also just pull other bars out, position them. If you want to force a vertical, you can force vertical. If it's too close to the edge, yeah. There's also 2x6, 3x4, 4x3, and 6x2. You can lock the numbers, you can lock the powers, so if you have a heavy finger and you pull the powers out like that, you can lock them in. Or you can close the tray altogether. Most of the time, I only have 4 trays open. Eventually, these will get filled and some of this stuff will go away. It just depends on your powers, how many you really need. Sometimes you really only need 2 and maybe a tray for your toggles. Just depends again on what you like, what your aesthetics are. I would say if you have a lot of toggles, have a tray open with toggles, because if you get disoriented or some held, knocked down, some other stuff, sometimes certain things will turn these off and you have to turn them back on. And if this tray isn't out and readily accessible, you have to either fumble around or find it. Oh, these are locked. I need to unlock the numbers, because if you've locked them like that, you can't get to any other tray. But if you have the ability, you can cycle through them like that. But it's just easier to have the tray there, so you can turn these back on if they get turned off for any reason. But yep, he gives you a mission. This will be talking to Professor Huffman and Lieutenant McCready. And they just tell you about targeting and considering a target, and then how the color of the name represents a level sync, and then about lieutenants, bosses, and minion. Although there is a couple others. There's henchmen, hirelings, heroes, arch villains, and stuff like that, but those are either lower or higher. The general gist is minions, lieutenants, and bosses. Standard MMO fare, gray names are weaker. If you're just a level above them, gray, you might get a smidge of experience, but you might not. Gray name or green names, blue names, white names, yellow, orange, red, and finally purple. Um, and sometimes when you click on something, it'll give you a level differentiation as well. If it doesn't, then they're like a skull in a way. They're too high above you, and you shouldn't even think about trying to mess with them unless you're in a big group. So yeah, talks to you about that. And then McCready will tell you about how to target, considering the target, and how to use your power tray number, or you could mouse over it and click it to get the power off. So yeah, you can click it with your mouse or click it with your number key. And it's in red because I'm out of range. It's 22 feet away. This is a melee power, so I have to get closer. And it's staged, so it'll automatically go. You can do a control click. Now it gets a green circle, and that's an auto, so it'll keep doing it after the cooldown. So I could hit it with that, hit it with that. Now it's going to hit it with that because it's queued up. Control click again to turn it off. Pretty standard. Few little mechanic differences, but activation differences, but mechanically a lot of the stuff is the same. And if it's a toggle power, it'll have that little satellite circling pip, and you just turn it off, turn it back on. Some will have a cooldown, like this one. If it gets turned off, you gotta wait to turn it back on. So be aware of that and be prepared. So we talked to those guys, they gave us their info. We gotta talk to the contact again, and he is going to have you go take out 2 contaminated thugs. So one of the things that goes along with your origin is this extra little power you have. Every one of the origins has it. And that, we can go back for a second after we turn this in, get our new contact. He's going to be Sergeant Hicks, that is south, but we'll go back to the start vendor for a second. I can show all of those because they are, you can change it out if you want, I guess, if it fits your theme better, maybe, but you have to turn in the one you have and then get another one, and that should be under attacks. So yeah, I'm Magic Origin again. Magic. So you get Apprentice Charm, which is a ranged minor damage, energy damage, and minus resistance to the foe. And then you can see it, detailed info, average damage, damage per cast cycle, activation time, recharge time, accuracy, and then the particulars. 80 feet range, single target. It used to be way shorter than that. I think they increased it. And then so on and so forth here. So that's the Magic Origin inherent power. There's one called Trank Dart. I believe this is Tech, maybe. Throwing knives is natural. Taser dart, that might be science, and this one might be tech, or vice versa. Taser dart, and then mutagen, mutation. Okay, easy them there. Apprentice charm is magic. And then these other ones are different. So there's 5 different ones here. And those are a little inherent power that is based on your origin. The only other thing for origin is if you write a backstory and you want to have it tied to a particular origin, like magic, science, tech, mutation, natural. So I don't know if I've gone into that much in some of the other ones. Sometimes it's hard to hit everything because there's a lot of stuff in the game actually, and some of it deals directly with playing the game, and some of it is more lore and backstory. So it is what it is. You can really crawl into this thing super deep, or you can just play the game and have fun, or you have fun at your particular level of comfort per se. So now Hicks is going to tell you a little bit more about some stuff, mostly inspirations, and how they augment you. You can think of inspirations in this game as kind of like a potion in a fantasy game, where you have potions for health or mana or whatever, different things, even like tabletop RPG like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever. You can have potions of strength, giant strength, or fox cunning, or whatever, and those augment the power for a particular amount of time. Well, inspirations are exactly the same. They augment your stuff for a particular amount of time. He also tells you how you can detach stuff. I've gone through that, but we'll go through that again. You can see how this is detached, the little pip. If I put it back, then it's attached. I like it to be detached, so I detach it. This will grow. You will get more rows and columns as you level at particular levels. Eventually, I think it's 4x5, 20 slots. And then your F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5 will correspond to the columns. So some people will stack them so that you can activate them easier by just hitting that. So yeah. Totally personal preference on how you organize your tray. I organize it different for different characters, for different ways that I play them as needed. So yeah. And then now he's going to give you 2 third tiers, and then tells you to defeat 4 thugs using the inspirations. I say, no way. I'll go defeat the thugs, but I am not going to use these inspirations, because I'm going to use them to make enough influence to get a couple things after I get done and out of here. Sometimes you can do that. You can meet these requirements without doing things exactly as they say. So yeah. So we just go over here in the red zone, and we're going to use our little ranged guy, and wow, boop. Oh, he fell down. And I'm going to do the same with that one. I'll wait for the cooldown. I'll queue it up, and it'll just go. And now this guy should aggro to me. And I'll throw that and get him over some more. Oh, and there, he's gone. Alright, so return to contact. You did the thing, didn't use the inspirations, it doesn't matter. He just wanted you to defeat the guy. And Now it just now he's telling you about enhancements. He's going to give you a couple enhancements to put in a power, and it will tell you about the different types, enhancement levels, combining, and invented enhancements. So we picked these up initially, and I waited for now, and then it gives you this one. When you click on an enhancement in the tray, it will turn green if it has a slot that it can go in. You can also mouse over your power, and it will tell you allowed enhancements and allowed enhancement set categories. So if you're on a melee power like this, blazing aura is a point blank area of effect, so it can take melee AoE damage, universal damage, threat duration, and tanker archetype sets. Or standard enhancements, threat duration, reduced endurance cost, enhanced recharge speed, enhanced damage, enhanced accuracy. Well, these are damage and recharge. Some enhancements do more than one thing, and then some have set bonuses. These are just special first level-y ones that they give you access to. So they do damage recharge and then some other type of damage or knockdown. I think one of them gives you knockdown. Chance for lethal, chance for smashing, chance for knockdown, chance for energy. So, I'm going to put the lethal in Stone Fist. And then it'll prompt you. You can turn this off once you get used to it, or if you just don't want it popping up all the time, you can just turn it off. Just be aware that now it will not prompt you. So if you slot something and you didn't want to put it there, it's there. You can't pull it out. You can pull it out and throw it away. You can augment it sometimes if it's a particular type of enhancement. But once it's in there unless you respec or you get unslaughters, which are kind of expensive, but not that expensive, but you have to buy them or use merits to get them, which if you're using merits to get them, I hope you're selling them on the auction house and not utilizing them, because they're done. So that's pretty much it. And then on this page too, that shows your powers and whatnot, you can get the detailed info. That's the same as right clicking on them in the game and looking at the information. It gives you the whole thing here. But sorry, I didn't expand on that. If like for the standard enhancements that you can purchase at the quartermasters and such in game, that either have, there's still some standards. Most people don't get them, and they're not very good after a certain level. And then there's what's called dual origin and single origin. Well, your origin, my origin in this character is magic. So at a certain level, it used to be in live, you finally got single origins that augmented your powers a little better, a little more percentage wise, and they were named more specifically to your origin in a way. Prior to that, you could get what were called dual origins and say, like, I'm magic, so maybe it was natural magic or mutation magic or something, some other origin plus the magic, which is my origin. So those you could only slot in magic or the other part of the second origin. So if you're tech, you can't put a mutant magic dual origin in your build because it's meant for either mutation or magic. But those in particular that can drop in the game at various levels, say you get one, you're level 10, and you get a level 11 or 12 to drop, you can slot that because it's within a certain amount of levels. But then that level 12 becomes inactive after level 15 because it's kind of staled out. It's too low a level to affect you, and the number down here will turn red, and when you mouse over, it'll say this enhancement is too low a level and it does not affect your power anymore. Well, if you get the same enhancement to drop, and this is slotted, say it's slotted in your character and it's red, but you get the exact same enhancement to drop, you can do this, and it goes, you put the one down here, and then you have one that's exactly the same, and you add to it, and then it'll give you a percentage chance of if they will combine. If this one's a higher level than this, it'll have a chance to go to this level and do a plus. If it fails, you'll get this level but no plus. So it's just like slotting it over it, but you're trying to get a little bump on it, so you want to combine it. That it's not as prevalent as it used to be unless you're just starting out and you only have one character and you don't have another character to help feed your characters. Then you do a lot of combining. I'll show you that when we get going a little more. It's hard to explain without the actual things here to show the mechanics of it, but this kind of explained that. Again, sometimes some of the stuff is hard to just, get it from the verbiage in game. Some people are okay with that and will get it just from reading it, and other people will have to see it in action. So it depends upon what type of learner you are. So he gives you the new contact coyote, which is down here. And he's going to have you rescue, what's her name? Crap, I can't remember her name now. He tells you some backstory and stuff, some lore, and then Flower Knight. So you have to go find her, defeat any enemies, and find the formula. So various doors for this mission. Almost any of these buildings can spawn the mission door, so you just have to follow it and go in and do your duty. Now, she's back there. She's guarded by a bunch of guys. So you have to rescue her and defeat all thugs. And once she gets freed, she will help you a little bit. She has a bow and arrow, and she will range some guys. And now that you've done the one, there's the computer to click on. I I do have a mod for the sound. It's not the glowy thrum thrum like it is in game, because I just find it easier for locating it myself. And when you click on it, it will kind of show you where it's at, which is right here. But we probably don't have all the thugs defeated, so we probably won't get the exit yet. So now we just have to keep going through the map and finding the bad guys and taking them out, which there's probably, it looks like 4 down here. And once we get them taken care of, we will probably get the blue exit button and our level for level 2, and yep, there it is. So there is a badge here besides the caretaker or the caregiver, which is right there. Fog of War's on, so it's kind of hard to read, but day job caregiver, that's at the hospital. If you fall in battle, that's where you're res. But that's where I parked him when I made him after I entered here. And let's unhook this, get this over here where we like to have it, and expand it as much as we can. I also got a bunch of AEs, and then you get the VIP one, depending upon what side you're on and stuff, or if you're Praetorian or Primal, I believe. These are all account wides from Architect Entertainment stuff, and this one's a day job, the first day job you can get. I parked him there. He's been there for more than 4 days, and he got it. You can do most recent, or if you can look up by different classes of day jobs, or badges, I mean, not just day jobs, but you can do closest to completion, exploration. This one, the other badge that's available here is actually a defeats 100 contaminated. If you want to do it now, you can do it now and just go through and slog through and kill however many more. I've already defeated 20 through the mission and the other thing, so I have 80 to go. I don't know whether I want it or not, so the thing is, you can also go back and do this the tutorial on the hero side only, I think, through the Pillar of Ice and Fire through Ouroboros. The tutorial on the villain side and the Praetorian side cannot be redone. So the badges that are available there, you have to get them while you're in there. If you don't get them, except for the one on the Praetorian side, there's no way to get it. You can't get the jailbird or whatever it's called on the villain side if you don't grab that badge while you're in the mission. You can't go back and redo it unless they changed it. They could have changed that, who knows, but I'm pretty sure the one, you can't go back to the Praetorian one and redo that mish. And that's the Avid Reader badge, but you can get that on any character if you do an eye trial and then go talk to Prometheus and get all of his information. Then you'll get the Avid Reader. So, done here. He will send you to Atlas Park and talk to Miss Liberty, and you can level up. Prompts you that you're level 2, go talk to Miss Liberty, and then you can pick if you want a special designator over your head of help me or helper. I do none. I will help people, but I don't advertise it, so I'm nice, I'm just not that nice, I guess. I don't know, but you talk to her. She's a trainer. She will train you up to a new level of power, and she also tells you that you get the fitness and rest, which will pop up here as soon as you say train me up. And now you get to choose a new power at level 2. If you have used mids to build your character out, which is what I highly recommend, you can have it pulled up or tab over to it or however you want to do it and see what you're going to take. If you haven't, this could take a while to try to figure out what you want. I highly recommend mids so you can have your character built out so you don't have to hem-haw around and figure out, oh, do I want this? Oh, do I want that? Which one do I want? Oh my god. So yeah, I have Fire Shield at number 2. So, on a tanker, your primary, which is this column, is usually your defensive armors or aura. They help you in staying alive because they mitigate damage either by defensive percentages or resisting percentages. They will explain a little bit in here, but that's why it's best to use mids so you can find out the full extent of the power. You can do the show detailed, and there's all the stuff too. Just like in mids, so you can see what it is. But you can only see this one, and then if I want to pop back over to this one, then I have to swap around. So yeah. But I know I'm taking Fire Shield, which does... it's a toggle resistance. So it's not a defensive, but it's a resistance. So it's 30% to smashing, lethal, fire, and cold. And then a 5.77 mag stun protection. Unresistible. Unresistible. Well, this is only 10%. These are 30s. Okay. Its endurance cost is 0.26 a second. The target is self, single target self, and if it gets turned off, it has a 2-second recharge time and a 1.67 second activation time. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to take. At 4, oh man, I took Fly. Oh, well, that's because he's not rock armor. So he doesn't have to be on the ground. So, yep, I took Fly. At level 4, you get access to the power pools over here. This third column that's kind of blank right now. And usually you take a travel power pool right off the bat so you can get around a little faster and easier. Yeah, but we'll get into that eventually. But yep, I'm taking Fire Shield to give myself a little more damage mitigation, and I will move that over here and turn it on. And now you get sometimes you get some freebie stuff at first. So there's that, the rocket pack, so you get a little temporary fly stuff for a certain amount of time, the walk power, the rest power, and yeah, that's it. So away I go. That wave at Miki, if there's a wave. I thought there was a wave. There we go. They're a stable, almost always on when I'm on. So here's the kind of a quartermaster over here that you can buy stuff, and here, info, there we go. So see, this is a dual origin mutation magic. and I thought mutation was one of them. You can tell by the color of what it is. Accuracies are yellow, damages are red, purples are usually, a light purple is a defense buff, and a dark is a defense buff. Blues are end reduction. The different purple than that one is fear, so on and so forth. Green is usually heal if it's the bright green, or grass green, whatever. Yeah. And mod is a dark blue. Regular endurance reduction is a lighter blue, so on and so forth. So if I, and then this one is probably, yeah. So that's the other dual origin, is natural magic. But if you look at them, at the other red, 19.2, gauntlet, 19.2, they're the same. They're just, like, if they drop, and I think if you get a mutation magic to drop, but you already have a natural magic in there, you can still combine them. And see, I just don't have enough monies to do one of these, so yeah, we'll get up to level 5, and maybe I'll swap over and send her a little money, and then I can show you guys how that works if I don't have some picked up by then. But now, before I go in there, I'm going to get the experience boost. So these are free, they don't cost anything in game, but they have some ramifications. You get an extra 25% experience boost, but your influence, which is the money in the game on the hero side, is lessened. So you only get more experience, but you get less in-game money by 25%. And then the 50 boost gives you a 50% boost in XP, but it reduces your influence by 50%. And then the double XP is a 100% boost, but you don't get any influence. That's the one I get because I have my farmer, my rich uncle, as I call it, and any money I need, I can just send it to him. So yeah, there we go. So you can get 8 full hours of that at a time, and that's what I did. So, and now it directs you over here to City Hall to talk to Azuria. She is the main magic contact for the start of the game. I'm going to go grab this, which is a badge over by that statue, an exploration badge, and it'll tell you about that if you're unaware of them. And then there's Azuria, so she will give you your first mission. Take on the Hellions and show them what's what. So this is not a door mission, this is what we colloquially call a street sweeper. You go out on the streets, find the right type of enemy group, and take them out. There's some all around the City Hall thing. Target them, tab target, click on them, however you want to do it, and go up and beat them up. You need 5. Oh, my inspiration's gone, so I'll pop it right quick. And after I take this guy out, and the citizen tells me, great job, thank you, whatever, I will throw these in here. Oh, well, there's enough right there. I only need, I could have just taken this group out. There's 5 here. Oh, 4. didn't look around enough. So I'll have a few extras. And, he decided to come back. Come on up. Come up. Come up. There we go. So sometimes when you complete a street sweep like that, it'll segue right into another mission. So this one did. Sometimes you got to go back or call your contact to turn it back in, and then you'll get another mish or mission. We like to call them mishes, just mish. Shortens it, and, you know. Partially because back in the day when you just typed everything, it was easier to just shorten stuff and use gamer speak. So here we go. We got a couple patrollers right off the bat that are walking around and doing stuff. You see we got some low-level inspirations. This one is called an Awaken. This will res you if you fall in battle, instead of going all the way to the hospital to res. Yeah. This is a resistance. There's a purple shield that is a defense. Red is damage. Green is healing. There is a lighter purple with a circle with a squiggly line in. That's a merge or break free on the first level, first tier. That will break you out of a hold effect. And if you remember, we only had 3 rows. Now we have a 4th row when we leveled up. So yeah. Bust gang leader and his crew. We have to find the gang leader and defeat him and his men. See, this guy's an orange lieutenant, so he's level 3, we're level 2. He's going to give us a little more experience, which is wonderful. I don't know if it'll be enough for a level, it just depends. But we'll probably be level 3 by the time we get out of this. There we go. And when you level, you get a full complement of tier 3s. The nice thing about that is if you're if you have fallen in battle, you can get what's called a level res. So like if you're in a group and you fall in battle, but you just stay there for a second because you're really close to leveling, and you get enough experience to level, you will resurrect on the spot because it gives you one of everything, including the res for if you have fallen in battle. If you haven't fallen, the res is not there because you don't need it. But if you have fallen, surprise, this is a 2nd floor. Man, it is raining. Wow. When I can hear it with my cans on, my headset on and stuff, it's raining pretty hard here in good old Washington State. Now, if I got everybody, this will finish the mesh. If I didn't find everybody, I'll have to go back and find them. But I found everybody. Or, well, everybody that I needed to find. So, cool. And see, I got a few things here too, so maybe I can show you guys how this works exactly with combining the single origin, dual origin enhancements. Just depends on if I get enough from selling this stuff. Where am I going? The wrong way is where I'm going. Good grief. Alright, so I am going to sell these, except for the Waken. Oh, that's not a lot of influence. I'll sell that one. I don't need that one. And I'll sell the recharge. Okay, I'll keep those for a minute. See how much money I can get from selling this stuff. Good, good. That should be an instant sale. And another instant sale. Now I got, okay. Yep, I got enough. That's way better. Alright. So, for instance, that doesn't go there. But the end will. Okay, that'll work. So, I put that in, and it does 15%. And it's the mutation magic torque end reduction. So, there's a level 5 for 1856. I will buy that. And now there's an 85% chance that this will combine. And if it combines, it should make it a 5+. So right now it's 18.3. The one that's in there is 15%. So I will combine them, and it was a success. So, oh, it didn't even do it a plus. It went ahead and bumped it up to a 6 from the 5. So it bumped it up a whole level. So instead of 18, now it's 19.2. So that's pretty cool. But the thing is these are prohibitively expensive. The higher the level, the more they cost. And they will go stale if they're 5 levels higher. So that level 6 that I have, at level 12, it will turn red. And it will no longer affect my power. And it'll say that when you mouse over it. This enhancement is too low level. It does not increase your power, blah, 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 blah. And then it might say, you know, you can combine to get it up to where it'll affect your power, or you can replace it with a higher level one. At level 7, you can start putting level 10 invention enhancements in that one of your higher level characters have crafted. If you have a field crafter that's done everything and memorized everything, you don't need the recipes to craft the enhancements, and you can just pay the fee, have the right salvage, and you can just make enhancements for them. Yeah, it's a lot to take in, and it walks you through some of this stuff. When you get to the level 10, I believe, you can do a tutorial on crafting the enhancements and whatnot. I am going to have to pause for a moment, so I will be right back. AFK. Alright. I am back. Excuse me. You received your first tip. I got that badge, or that, that exploration badge back there. So, let's train up to the next level. So, every other level, until 32 or something like that, is slots. Get 2 slots every other level to put in your power. So, you know, you can distribute them again however you see fit. If you've done your mids build, you know how many slots you're going to eventually put in stuff, and you can slot accordingly. You know, most of the inherent fitness don't get slotted. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll put a second slot in health for a special healing thing. Yeah, but sometimes, usually not. So yeah. And then it'll just tell you how much you need for the next ones, and it will explain some other stuff if you want to read about it. There it is. So, yes. Now that I have a little cheddar, not a whole lot, but I will go ahead and purchase my one other prestige power that I like to have, and that is under utility, and that is reveal. Or if you played Hogwarts Legacy, Revelio, sorta, kinda, in a way. It will unfog your map. I usually don't use it on zone maps until I have all the badges, so I know where I haven't been to get the various badges. So we have to go talk to Azuria because she doesn't have a call button yet, and we know she's in City Hall. Now each of the origins is represented down here where we're getting ready to go talk to her again, and now I'll show you those. We'll go over those, and then supergroup registration. If you want to create your own supergroup, I highly recommend it. Unless you just get in with a nice group of folks, that's fine too. You know, whichever way you want to go, but super groups are really nice, and I will send him an invite. I will send Papa here an invite once he hits level 7. I don't really need it until then, because like I say, that's when you can get your level 10 stuff that you can craft at level 7. So yeah, but there are the 5 origins. Modern Arcane Guild of Investigation for Magic, Department of Advanced Technology Applications for Tech, Genetic Investigation and Facilitation Team, Mutant, Scientific Experimentation, Research and Applications to Paranormal Humans, Science, and Enhanced Logistics for Insight and Tactical Excellence for Natural. So there you go. Depending upon your origin is which contact you'll get. And sometimes you can choose between 2. Some of them lead into another arc or mission set. Some do not. Some just open up maybe another contact. I will go warn Sarah Peters. Directs you to the front door. And then over here to this point where she is at. I almost always took super jump as my travel power. Once they added evasive maneuvers and made it so that you could have hover on at the same time as flight, and it gave you more control of flight without all the drift that it has. Now fly is definitely an option for me for some stuff, so I don't always take super jump anymore like I used to. So yeah, now you just talk to Sarah. We still don't have a call button, so we have to go back and talk to Azuria again. Available mission, street sweeper, door mission. We'll do the door mission. Behind us. I know some people don't like instant stuff, and that's why they don't like city. I actually like it because then you're not, I mean, not that there's a ton of people on anymore, but you know, I played World of Warcraft and I loved World of Warcraft, but sometimes doing stuff out in the world when the server was seriously populated made it not so fun, especially when the drop rate on stuff was terrible. So there's pros and cons, and depending upon your play style, maybe this game isn't for you. Maybe it is. I feel it's a great game, and I love playing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be playing it 20 years after it came out, man. I mean, I didn't start from the get-go of it, but I started pretty soon after it came out, and it was my first MMO, and I still like WoW a lot. I play on a private server some, but I don't like the new WoW, and I just don't like the community as much as it used to be, and I just don't like the direction that the devs have gone in as far as it seems like they're almost back to when I was almost ready to quit WoW, and then they changed a few things, and they just made it more, I hate to say casual friendly, but then that was almost part of the downfall of it too, in a way. But that, I don't know, it seemed like they spent all this time on dungeons and raids, and earlier on there wasn't a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people would run dungeons because you only needed five. I think 5 people for that. But the raids were 20 man and 40 man, and sometimes it's hard to get that many people together for a couple hours and run something like that. Uh, then the population went up and it got a little easier to do that, and then they cut back and just did 10 man and 20 man raids. And that's when they saw a huge increase, I think, in numbers with when Wrath came out, Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, I started a little more than halfway through Burning Crusade, I think. So I wasn't a vanilla player. But it was fun. But I hardly ever did any dungeons or raids because it was hard to find a group. And then even when I got with a guild, I just didn't do that much. I was still very solo centric. If they needed help, I'd go, and I wasn't. I knew I was going to be on for a while playing. Yeah, I'd go help and play and run the dungeon or raid, but those were few and far between. And then after Lich King came out, I started getting a little more into the raids. The guild I got in with, I got to know a lot of people really well. And kind of broke out of my solo-centric stuff a little bit, but I still, 60-80% of the time I was running solo, or maybe teaming up with the guild master, who we just got a friendship going, and we were on Ventrilo all the time just talking if we weren't playing together. And 60-80% of the time, unless they were having raid night, we were playing together. So yeah. And then after Lich King, the casual friendliness continued for quite a while, and then it seemed like around Legion ish, they started doing the mythic stuff, and which is all cool, and it brings a lot of people to the game to watch some of that stuff for the esports and the world first races and stuff like that. But it just seems like they went back to, oh, we're building all this cool stuff, but only about 10% of the people can do the high mythic key runs. And yeah, you can still do the raid at regular level and stuff like that, but it just seemed like they were catering to the elite players again. And I was just like, man. And then some other stuff, and they made it really hard again to do alts, and I love to do alts. I like to have at least one of every class in a way. Even if I don't play them that much, I like to get one to cap just so I can see how they play, and if I like it, I'll play it more. But yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't as fun to play anymore, so I just quit, and I let my sub lapse again, and was just before Dragonflight, a little bit before Dragonflight, and I haven't been back. And I play on a private server that is starting to do Legion content, and that's fine. Again, I liked some of the stuff they implemented with Legion, and I'll probably roll up a character to Legion once they make it go live per se, but because then the transmog thing, the quality of life stuff they did with transmogs come into effect, which is fine. But yeah, I don't care if they go any further, and probably will plateau out on that. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I've played a lot of other MMOs to reveal your secrets, and yeah, I mean, I still be playing Lord of the Rings if they'd fix some of their graphic stuff that they do, that I can't read my bags now because I'm on a 4K monitor, which you'd think I'd be able to read my bags, but they're so small and there's no way to increase the size of them that I can find. I asked in game, I looked on the forums, I couldn't find any way to increase the bag size. So yeah, so I was. Oh shoot! Oh, there was nothing down there, right? Yeah. We'll go check. Oh, yep. And there's probably a dude dancing by a boombox over here. Yep. But yeah, I liked Star Wars: The Old Republic, and then they started doing some silly stuff, and I kind of quit playing, and then I almost went back to them just recently, but then I saw they were doing some really stupid stuff again, so I decided not to go back. Neverwinter went from really fun to play to, oh, it's pay to win now, so I quit playing that. And then, oh, there's one up there. That's where the beep's coming from. So yeah, played Final Fantasy for a little bit, and then kind of quit because they had, at that time you could only get to 20 on a free account. Now you can get however high you want to, but I'd already quit, and then I tried to go back, and then just was like, nah, I'm just not feeling it. I need to delete that off my hard drive so I can free up some space, actually. And then I found Allods again. I've played it a little bit lately, not a ton, but that was kind of a fun game. They've added a lot, increased a bunch of stuff. I played DDO for a while, but they have some of the same issues that Lord of the Rings has with some of their graphics when you're trying to play on a 4K system. Hard to read some stuff. Hard to see stuff. Oh man. And then what else have I played? Oh boy. played Vanguard. I was an original Vanguard player. Signed up, pre-ordered, and then they were having so many bugs. I quit because they swore up and down, we don't have a memory leak. We don't have a memory leak. It was, and I had a good rig. Me and my buddy at the time, we played a lot of stuff, mostly City. But then we won it. We found out about Vanguard, and oh man, we were really hip on getting into Vanguard. And then, yeah, it just was almost unplayable, and quit. And they got it fixed eventually, but it was too late. And yeah, I admitted, oh yeah, we have a memory leak. We told you that. Swore up and down they didn't. And then, oh yeah, we kind of had a memory leak. Yeah. Everybody was telling you, you guys really need to look into that and fix it, because that's probably part of the issue. So it came on too little too late. It was still a fun game, but then the community was just gone. It was dead. Played Conan for a bit. It was fun, and then it kind of got blah. And then I went back to it at one time. It seemed like it was okay, but they had some little glitches here and there too, so I quit playing. I think I'm missing one. What am I missing? And, oh, can I call her? Still no call. Alright, so here's a little trick too. When you're on the back side of City Hall, you don't have to run all the way around. You can go in the back door, and it'll act like you went in the front door. I know, it's crazy. I'm gonna sell. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to do too. Alright. We will keep those. But sell all of these. Oh shoot. Oh well, I forgot. I wasn't supposed to sell that one, but I did. Oh. Alright. I forgot to level. But unlike back in the day, it doesn't matter. They'll give you the mission at your current level, even if you haven't trained. There's quite a few people on. So now you're at level 4. So it'll explain here a little bit about some stuff that you can invite to team and other junk and blah blah blah. And now when you do train, it will also tell you that you have unlocked access to new power sets. To select a power instead of a regular power, blah blah blah. I'm going to show you how to do that. So now your third column is open. Choose from new pool power set. Hey, you kids, get out of the pool. Anyway, so I am, let me double check, but I'm pretty sure I'm taking fly. Yes, okay, I'm taking fly. So there are quite a few here. And you can take as many as you want, but you want to take most of your main stuff, but there's a few here that, depending upon your style of play and your character and everything, you might want to take a couple of these. So, but I am taking flight, which gives you immediately access to fly, air superiority, or hover. Now, back in the day, I hate to be one of those. Like, back in my day, we walked up hill in the snow both ways to school. Oh, God. You whippersnappers have it so much easier. Well, I'm still playing, so we have it easier right along with you. So I can't be a curmudgeon and say that crap. But originally, I'll give you a little history. They unlocked from the top down. And when you unlocked it at level 4 or 8 or whenever it was, way back, you only got access to this one. But now, because of quality of life changes and just the mercy of the homecoming team, or maybe they did it later on live too, I can't remember. I've slept since then. I'd have to look it up through the issues on the wiki and figure that out, but you can take fly right off the bat, which is what I usually do, because then you can get around the map a lot easier. Now, you will have the drift because you don't have hover yet, but the next power that I take 9 times out of 10 is hover. So, yeah. And now you'll see what I say by drift, because now you have to hit it again. If you, I still got something I could take over here. Now that pulls it away. So there you go. So fly, and afterburner is a secondary. And we're going to go to pocket D and turn off the secondary tray because we've got it right here. So see, now you get this extra tray. But I am going to go over to pocket D. And so now when I stop, you see how much you drift? Same thing if you're strafing, you drift a lot. So if I want to stop at this door, now I can go in the door to pocket D, and I stopped like almost 10 feet away or more from the door. Once you take hover, you almost stop on a dime, which is nice. But pocket D has this interesting little character. Let's see, it's kind of hard to maneuver. Some people might be able to maneuver a lot better than I do, and that's fine. More power to you, but I hate it. The drift, and that's why I hardly ever take it anymore, or used to, but now because of some other quality of life things, I take it and I like it, because I like hover. But here is Null the Gull, and he does some interesting things, and one of them is disable my travel power pop-up tray. It's gone. Yay, thank you, Null. Now I go back to Atlas Park and go bust up these guys. And that should be Atlas. So there are 4 other potential zones you can come in: Fault Line, Talos, Founders Falls, and Kings Row. Atlas used to not be one of them. There used to just be 4, but then they added this because of the turning off the pop-up tray. So yeah, just makes it nice to have immediate access to pocket D. Kings Row used to be the quickest, or the earliest you could get access to. So yeah. Dun, dun. Turn fly off. Now we're back earthbound, which is fine. Boink. Oh geez, ran right by him. That little rubber band there, I think. We'll get this guy taken care of and then we'll come back down and go around. That's my other thing. I like to do full clears. I've shown in one other video I did that unless the map is just huge, and even then sometimes it's worth it, depending upon how, you know, where your quest mish ending is in the map. If you get it right away and you're not sure how populated it will be, go ahead and end it, man. If you're back here, you get the exit and you just have this little bit of area to go ahead and take the guys out. You might get it almost as much or more depending upon their level and whatnot of what the whole mission was worth as far as the end bonus. Again, if you get it right away, like on the first glowy, and the map is huge, okay, then maybe you don't clear the whole thing. But if you're more than halfway, or at even, you know, at 3/4, and then you get the mission ending, I mean, again, if the last guys are a high enough level that they give you a bunch of XP, and they don't take forever to beat down, then do it. Now if you do that, if you do what I just did and level, now the guys are at a lower level and you're not getting as much XP, so now you have to make that decision. Like if I got the main guy here and just got the ending, I might call it and go ahead and exit. But I bet the main guy is in this last room. Oh God, there's somebody. Oh, it's a weekly strike force, that's why. Cavern of Transcendence is a real pain in the butt. You get a lot of ambushes and ads, and it makes it not the funnest of all task forces. Or strike forces, whichever one it's considered. Yeah. Easy merits badges and notice free debt with every subscription. Yeah, because that's the thing again. That gives you a lot of ads and you can die a lot. I mean, even my tank can sometimes not survive. Oh man, I only got the one guy. Oh well. Man, it is just true. For Washington, it's definitely raining. There's the dude. Usually when you get a text bubble, it's maybe not always, well yeah, it's not always relevant, but 9 times out of 10, it's either the person that you need or, you know, sometimes it is just a random thing, but yeah, there's the guy. And we're basically gonna get an all clear here because, and sometimes when it says and his crew, it can mean just this guy that's with him or everybody that was in this room. So it's hard telling. Like, if he would have been up here and we got in, killed the minion that was with him and him, and we didn't get the mission complete, then you surmise, it means his whole crew in this room. There are a few rarities where they should have put defeat all in mission, you know, but they kind of, I guess, didn't want to. So yeah, it kind of sucks. But yeah, this one, it's hard telling. We could have maybe, if we could have snuck by those guys, we could have got by, knocked him out and his one minion with him, and got the exit. We'll never know unless we look it up and it says something on the wiki about it, or we do it again and then get a particular layout where we kill him first in the room and there's more people in the room and we don't get the complete. Oh, can we contact? Hey, we can call her now. Alright. This is a street sweeper. I think we will wait because we are level 5. We are going to get a couple badges here. One right here by the flagpole. One on the top of the Atlas globe. And then we'll go down. And slots. So donk and donk. Now we have a new contact, Vito twin shot, our favorite. Yeah. Okay. And now we're going to get the thing we forgot. To get earlier. Disable. Reject small. Recipes. Reject common. There we go. There's twin shot. Now this is the secondary tutorial in a way. It is a full-blown arc, story arc, but it kind of touches on some other stuff, a little more in depth. Well, I can't really say that. It just highlights stuff a little bit more. If you don't go to the wiki and check a lot of stuff out, it makes a few things apparent to you as you go along. It kind of is a loose introduction to supergroups and teaming in a way. But it also again takes you to a few key points of interest and shows you how to, do some stuff. Very funny. Wait a second, you forgot 3. There's twin shot. One of these days they'll fix this mission though, because twin shot keeps trying to run around you. She should just stop. But okay. So yeah, now you have to go talk to Proton. He's on the 2nd floor. Twin shot will eventually follow for the most part. Man, God, I'm talking too much. I'm going to try to get to 7 and then show you how to invite to your super group, and then I will take a break. There's Proton. We talk to him, and then we get the annoying one, and here she comes. Flambeau, flambe, flambeau, flandip. Never mind. So talk to her. because I'm hot. Because, like, fire. And, oh, okay. Now we go meet Dillo, who is an alien. Which is cool. So once I get off the bus, oh god. Orb. Air sounds. Return to the entrance to help Twin Shot. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. And there's Grim. Fighting off the spidery ones. I am Grim, and I come from another land. I wish to join your group so that I may guard over your safety. Hey, you know, it's kind of cool because you get all these different entities, different backstories. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. So there we go. We got the opening mission in the Twin Shot Saga. Twin Shot Saga. Did it. And of course, no call buttons. We gotta go talk to her to turn it in. And now I'll use that. Afterburner just gives you a little speed boost for like 20 seconds. And I think it has a minute or 2 minute cooldown. A minute. Okay. So now it does a little bit of tutorial stuff because you talk to Miss Liberty. And, you know, she explains some stuff about trainers and leveling. I mean, you should already know a little bit about leveling, but she goes a little more in depth. A little. And then she tells you to go talk to Blue Steel, who's another trainer in the next zone. The next set of level range in King's Row. So she directs you to the monorail, which on the map is the T. This T, because this is the tunnel connection, but she wants you to go to the monorail. Ride the monorail from Atlas Park to Kings Row. Use the map to find the monorail station. So, yep. There it is. And you found it. So it gave you some stuff. Now it says talk to Blue Steel in Kings Row. Click on the monorail, Kings Row. It'll usually be highlighted by that golden pip if it's in a different zone that the mission that you're on. Your active task it will show you the zone that it is in. So talk to blue steel, and that directs you to where blue steel is, which is back this way. And then again, he tells you a little more stuff about stuff. And then he gives you a little mish to defeat 10 skulls in King's Row. Now, there's a bunch right over here. And sometimes they're a little high level, sometimes they're not. These guys aren't too bad. They're orange, but they're just minion. So we might miss a few times hitting them, but they will give us some decent XP. And we have a little bit of damage mitigation, so yeah, there we go. We're going to hit level 6 pretty quick here. Probably about halfway through this, or 3/4 of the way through the 10. So by the time we get to between 7 and 8 defeated, we should have our level. So yeah, 2 to 3 left. We should be knocking on the door of level 6. And there it is. It was only halfway through. No biggie. There's some right there. They're just blue, but we really don't care. We're just trying to get the count of the 5 more that we need. That. There's 3 in this one group. We'll just go take them out. Alright. Ask about available. Distress call. Okay. Help defend the Shining Star base. So now we have to go back. But on the way back, we're going to stop at blue steel and level up. And we are taking hover. Now I turn hover on and I have fly on. It takes the higher power, so I go faster with fly. Now you will notice you have hardly any drift. Yes, much better. Way better. And back to the same spot where the base was, a little afterburner, and get a little speed boost. Give me the juice. Oh man. So now I turn fly off. I still have hover on. Hover gives you a little defense and a little movement, faster than just run, or not as fast as sprint though. But yeah. So now I'm kind of low in health. This wonderful little rest button will make you what we like to call taking a knee. So you kneel down on one knee, and now your health and endurance comes back at an alarming rate. You click it off, you're back up, ready to rock and roll. It says use the security terminal. Scan this first floor, scan the second floor, scan the third floor, lock down the terminal. Look around in the shadows. There's Twin Shot. Talk to Twin Shot. And let's go help Dillo. Probably nobody. Yep. The evaders are this way. Same layout of the base map as before. But now instead of Proton being down here, we have Dillo with some baddies. So we have to free him. Orb, orb. I am poked. Too big, friend. Pop up, ahoy, hoy. Alright, so we have to, see if Dillo's okay. And he has to heal himself with the pressurizer. And the pressurizer is this way, but we have some other baddies here to take care of. So sometimes the glowies are for you to click on, and sometimes not. The one who is Dillo Cambello once again. Alrighty. So travel to the third floor, which is this way. And there's Grim. So he will go with us. Let us engage the spidery ones in mortal combat. Mortal combat! Anyway. Alright. There's not a whole lot of guys in here. I go ahead and clear them all. You know, get the XP while you can. Where's Grim? He got lost. And Talk to Proton. Use Proton's computer console. And that's it. Ta 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 ta. Mission complete. Think we can call Twin Shot, turn it in. Alright. So this one's another run around and talk to. And it kind of highlights again some points of interest like City Hall and the Supergroup registration. And then he talks about enhancements a little more, I believe. Or maybe that's the Dillo part of the thing. Yeah, they talk through this little part. It also shows you the hospital and Wentworth's and the bank where you can put your salvage and stuff in another container besides your personal one that's on you at all times. Yeah, a little more background about the Shining Stars storyline. So Dillo's at the hospital doing some sleuthing. He's over by the soda machine trying to decide if he wants a Coke or a Sprite. Not really. But yeah, he just goes through stuff. And now we find Grim at the police station. And the police station doesn't really have a lot of stuff, but it is a spot for day job badge, so it's showing you some of the locations for some day job badges and for other things here, there, and yonder. So yeah. And there we go. Go to the Wentworth to talk to Flambeau, Flambeau, wherever you're from and how you pronounce it, it's good to go. But yeah. Talks about the auction house a little, and then sends you to the bank or vault reserve, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to grab that Vanguard badge while I'm down here after I go in the bank. Because it's actually in the Vanguard building, so it's a little tough. Probably go back here and grab this plaque too while I'm at it, since I'm close to it. Now if they're the parallelogram, they're a plaque on a wall. If they're the other shape, which is like, what is it? What shape? Oh, there it is. Hexagon. Then they're on a plinth. Here's the entrance to Vanguard. You gotta go in and go up the stairs on the left, turn immediately, and there's the badge. One of the few that's inside a building for a zone. Most of the exploration badges in a zone are just out and about. So, there we go. Now we can call Twin Shot. And she will give you the last one in the level 5 arc. Well, level 5 through level 10. Once you finish this one, she won't give you another mission until you hit level 10. And that's the second chapter in the Shining Stars arc. Now, when it says board transit, it's usually the top one. If multiple people in your group have the same mission, it's dependent on whose you want to take to get the mentor time. Mentor time is a badge under achievements. Yeah. I won't have anything on it because I haven't teamed up with anybody. But achievements have all the tiered, what I call the tiered badges. See, there's 10 for tourists, 25 for whatever that one is, then 50, 100, 200, 750, so on and so forth for badges taken and or collected. And then there's one for damage dealt, one for damage taken, and then there's various tiers of it as well. There's one for a lot of different things under here, so yeah. And one of them is mentoring or sidekicking, and yeah, it's by time. Like an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is, I can't remember. There's a big whole page on the wiki, multiple pages about badges, the various subcategories of badges, and where to find them, how to get them, and all that stuff. I recommend the Homecoming wiki, and it will be very helpful for lots of stuff. If you're having an issue with a mish and you just can't quite figure it out, or nobody's on, or nobody's answering a question if you ask, sometimes that's the best place to go, is go to the wiki and check it out. Might not answer all your questions, but it should answer most of your general inquiries about a mission or arc or zone or whatever. Secret doors right here. I know I've done this mission enough. I just know where it's at. Now, this one shares a map with the Midnighters Club, this particular part of this map. That's why it's showing a exploration badge, but it is not there. It is a ghost badge just because it shares this particular part of the Midnighters Club map, which is their main conference room. Because when you walk over the spot there's not one on the floor, and you don't get a badge, so there is no badge technically in this instance of a council room, conference room, whatever you want to call it. So yep, just the way it goes, man, just the way it goes. Oh, I'm in mode. Gotta wait till I get the web grenade off me. Alright. So gain access to the vault. Gotta go through the rest of the tunnel. There'll be lots of guys. We're gonna level probably after this defeat. Yep. Now you can try to bypass them sometimes, and sometimes you can fly past them and hit the door and they will break aggro, and like that. Again, because I leveled, I'm not so worried about it. There's a few in here have to defeat, like the kidnapper. So he's a required. These other guys aren't. These guys are aggroed to me. They might aggro to me. I might have some problems here. I did that so I can maybe get... No, oh, we got him. Dadgummit. Oh well. Take a greenie. Again, kind of just like potions. You can leave those other guys behind. I want to just get done here and take a little break. So, what? Hey, there's Manticore. What do you mean? I thought we were supposed to rescue Manticore. Your guys, the Arachnos agents? Oh, it was a test. Okay. And you just received your first reward merits from a major story arc. So, yeah, you can... Some stuff you only get every 24 hours for doing stuff. So, yeah, it tells you about that. Blah, blah, blah. And those are under salvage. There's several tabs in salvage. There's the all tab, event, salvage, incarnate, salvage, invention, salvage, and you can sort them varying ways, legacy, salvage, and special, and that's where your merits are at. They are account bound. You can email them to your other characters and such. So like, that's why I keep an empty email, so I can just hit reply. It goes directly to me, which my handle's Crimson Vision, and I can email them to myself, which I will pick them up with Mr. Squishy, who is the hoarder of merits for right now, until he gets a little over 2,000, so that this year during the one anniversary thing he can finally get his last non-recipe pet, I guess you'd say. So yeah, there we go. So we're done. Exit. We'll go level. Show you how to alt invite your character to your supergroup. Might as well just do that. I don't have to level here. You don't have to be a particular level to do that, but I know that if I quit here, I'll sign off immediately with a 0 seconds to disconnect. So it really doesn't matter who I use to invite, because all my other guys in my group are the same level. It doesn't have to be the head of the supergroup either. The command is /ALTINVITE, if I could type right, space, and then the name of the tune. Doesn't have to be capitalized. Papa, P-A-H-O-E-H-O-E, Ahoy hoy. That is a type of lava. And now it should say Papa Pohoy is now a member of J Bones' cohorts. So I have to promote them so they can get stuff from the whatchamacallit. So he's probably showing up as level 6 because he hasn't leveled yet. Even though he's level 7, he hasn't trained. So I will promote them to Legatus. Whoop. Can only go to Legatus. My should be Vito, or no, it's Bubba, is the supergroup head right now. If I don't log on for a particular amount of time, it'll switch to somebody else, but the only people in this supergroup are my characters, so it doesn't really matter. But yep, there they all are again, all that fun stuff. So now I can go back to him. I can go into my base, train, and get a few things. If I can remember where he's at. There he is. Yeah, Mama Magma. Wait. So yeah, now he's a member of the supergroup. Some cool things you can do if you're if you want, you can either turn on your emblem, and then you can also change some stuff, although all of his stuff is red or orange and black already, except for the backpack, because if I had it black, it didn't quite mesh right color wise, so I put it kind of a gray. I can hide the supergroup emblem, because without it, it doesn't show his chest armor, so yeah, no big deal. So I can accept that. Or if I wanted to change his color scheme, like I wanted to make it opposite for some weird reason, then I could turn all the black to orange. Oh, and that one to black, and this one to orange, and this one to black. And then I could change all the orange to black. And then he just looked totally weird and different. like it. So I can just put it all back to current color. There we go. Yeah, it's just too orange. I mean, I like orange, but sometimes it's just too much orange. So there we go. Yeah. And now he can go into the supergroup base. There's a trainer in there, so I can train to level 7 and get a few level 10 things out of the bins. And that way you can see the invention stuff and all slots on. Whoop, put that up and out of the way. And there's the trainer. And slots. So go like that. And we'll take that away and go like that. There we go. Cool. Away I go. Now we get a new contact because we're level 7. And if we call twin shot, turn that in, get a little XP boost. Almost level 8. And then now you can get some information, but if you talk to her, talk about what else is going on, she'll say, moving up, I'll have something for you when you hit level 10. So yeah, gotta get level 10. So we'll do some Shauna Stockwell stuff next time. But let's go to our 10 to 15 bin here and see if we got some stuff. Oh yeah, we got some stuff. Looky there. How many we need? Oh, we can. I forgot. I should sell all that crap. Get it out of my hair. There we go. Now let's go back to the bin. We'll probably need 2 of those. Let's get 2 of those, 1 of those, 1 of those, 1 of those, 1 of those. Well, we might need resistance instead of defense. Let's look. So there we go. We need a couple more of those. So we'll go ahead and get 2 more. There we go. So the thing too with enhancements is there's a thing called enhancement diversification or diminishing returns. Once you slot at a higher level, well, even at a lower level it can still change, but once you slot 3 things of a type, so if I had 3 accuracies here, I'd be setting it 34 something, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, so 35.1 percent. If I slotted a 4th one in, it's not going to give me the full 11.7% because it wants me to have some diversification of enhancements, because it doesn't want you to 6 slot something and put 5 slots of accuracy so you only botch on a nat 1 and then 1 thing of damage. It wants you to put some other stuff in here if you're going to 6 slot it. With set bonuses and stuff, it kind of makes that a moot point in a way, because you're going to hit the cap and you're not going to care because you're doing some stuff to get set bonuses, which is a total different thing. But on these regular invention things and the dual origin, single origin ones that are also just a single. It just does accuracy or whatever, whereas set bonuses do kind of like these special ones. It has multiple things. So yeah, it just doesn't. It's not to your benefit to slot 4 accuracies. So yeah, you just don't do it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Although hover takes defense, so. So that one I'll save. That goes in Stam. This one I'll put in Fire Shield. And I'll leave this one. And then I'll put that. And I'll grab another one of those to throw in later. So now, see, I get 11-7 from that and 15 from that. So when you look at your endurance cost, the base value is 0.26, but now it's 26.7% less, so it makes it 0.21. Nice. Put that in fly. Put that in heal. And I'll grab another one of these to use in this when it stales out. And then y'all can see how it'll stale out in a couple more levels. But yeah, that was resistance, right? Yeah. Resistance. Okay. And then I don't have another fly, do I? Nope, no fly. Okay. No big deal. And again, the nice thing about these is, and you'll see it once I hit the higher level and this stales out, these will not. And it says that on there when you mouse over. Let me get it in the middle. Effectiveness does not vary as security level changes. But you can't combine this with any other enhancement, so you can't, like, I can't put another 10 with this to try to make it a higher level. This one doesn't say which level it will go away at, but it's usually 5. So at level 11 it could turn red, but it probably turns red at 12 if I remember correctly. We'll find that out when I hit level 11 in 4 levels from now, which after I take my break I'll probably come back and play Papa a little more. So yeah. But yeah, I got that for this when I slot this a little more. Yep. So yeah, cool deal, Lucille. These I should just throw away because I don't need them. Yep. There we go. And then yeah. In your base, we can go over a little bit of that right quick. You can, once you get every exploration badge in a zone, you have access to the beacon for that zone, and you can set up teleport pads so you can port to any of the zones, but you have to get the accolade for getting all the exploration badges in a zone. Not hard to do. Most everybody has a badger that gets all the badges they can, and that's the one who is responsible for all of this stuff in here. These are hero side low level, blue side low level zones, mid level zones, high level zones, co-op zones. I need to move Striga over here because Striga is now a low or a co-op zone, not a mid level. blue zone villain, red side, the 7 zones for it. And then this one is Praetorian zones and the Shadow Shard zones. Technically these are co-op, but since they're in another dimension or universe or whatever, I figured I'd put them with the gold zones. Then you can have some fun, cool stuff, sculptures around your base. You can have enhancement bins that hold 100 enhancement tables. There is technology and arcane themed tables, and just a few little statue kind of things, or themed stuff like this big tower thing. I got a skylight. Yeah, so lots of enhancements. So my 50 tray or table, and then I have an overflow because of the event we had, because of all of these that I have. This isn't all I have. This is all that I just threw in that's 16 full sets of the Cupid Crush. You can put in a vault storage for personal extra vault. You get, right now I've got 80 spots. On your person I have 150 slots. Everything else has a soft cap, but doesn't affect this. Then I have some salvage bins or racks, and these are all uncommon. And then I have one for specialty stuff and rare, and then these are for common, and they're alphabetized from left to right, so these are A through D-ish. Yeah. I don't know if there's any E salvage, but F through N and R through T. Then there's some just other kind of decorative stuff, but also some of these are power sources, because you need a certain amount of power to run some of this stuff. And then here's the crafting table for the various things that I just like. So this one's a defense buff, so we can look that up under defense buff. It's a level 10. So you need, if you don't have the recipe, you can buy it through the workbench for 1200. Then you need 2400. It's usually double the price of the cost of this. If you have the recipe, you don't have to pay this. Recipes drop off of mobs and everything, but I don't have any, because I don't have any. They'd be up here if I had them. You also need a luck charm and a rune-bound armor. Well, I got the luck charm right there. I got 2 of those, so you either have to buy it off the auction house or wait for it to drop off a mob. If you've got the proper influence and the salvage, they'll be highlighted. You can hide the ones you don't have materials for, so only these would show up. So see, I could technically, even though I haven't done the tutorial, but I know how to craft stuff personally, and you don't have to do the tutorial to just be able to craft. You just have to have this workbench, or go to a university where they have the workbenches. See, I could craft a level, up to level 25 because they all take the same. They're kind of slotted in a way with what you need. It usually goes in the 4. So like if we look at 30, 35, 40, and 45, they probably all take the same thing. Yep, alchemical silver, scientific theory. Yep. And then the level 50 takes something a little different. So yeah. And then you can see the progression. 1650, 13 or 3500, 16,000, 17,4, 30, 300, 4650, 7290, which 900, which I don't have that much. 173, and yeah, almost half a mil. That's if you don't have the recipe. And then at a certain point they change and they equal. It looks like the last 2 levels they equal. What's needed to craft also is the price if you don't have the recipe. After you craft so many of these, you memorize them. And then, well, I'll just do one. I'll do one of the low levels. I'll do a 15 because I will need that. I'll buy that. And then I'll create it. So now you see the 15, and I can't slot it yet because I'm not level 12. But I will get there, and then I'll be able to slot it. So not at loss or anything, but now I don't have any more bore sights. But now that I've crafted one, under badges and invention, I now have some badges that have opened up. And this one, after I craft 50, I will get this badge. There are several of these for like probably 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, I think. I might be off a little bit. I might have an extra one in there, but I know there's one for 1,000 and 2,000. And then for accuracy and to hit buff enhancements, which I created an accuracy from level 15 to 20. I need 13. I crafted one. It would have been 14, but you wouldn't have been able to see it until you craft one. It's kind of counterintuitive. But what it doesn't say is that it was 14. You need 7 of each. Usually. If it's an odd number, then you can do the extra one on whichever one you want. Which it's usually best to do it on the lower level because it's cheaper to craft. If you got a ton of money in game, then it doesn't really matter. Knock your socks off. But if you do 8 of the level 15s all at once, you're going to get to 7 of 13. Oh, it's not. So it's not 7 of each because it's 13, not 14. Sorry, my bad. So it's 7 of one and 6 of the other. And you can usually do whichever one you want. But it's better to do the lower one on the 7 on the higher side because they're cheaper to craft. But again, if you got a lot of influence, it don't matter. It starts to matter when you get higher up when they're 500,000 to craft. But, you know. So yeah. But if I did 8 level 15s, it wouldn't say 8 of 13. It would say 7 of 13. And now you have to do 6 level 20s. You can't do 13 level 15s and get this. It's you have to do some of each. And yeah. Yeah. The cool thing about these is once you get the second to the last one, which I think is 1,000, and then the the 3540s, I think that's the tier, because the 4550s are the last tier. Once you get all these where you've got them memorized and you get the badge for it, which would be this, but with the proper level. Once you get all the way to the second to the last ones, all cleared, and 1,000 of these, and you've done the tutorial, you get the Field Crafter accolade, and you get a portable workbench for 5 minutes that you can pop out and craft stuff on if you need to, and you're not close to a workbench. It's totally not necessary, because usually you don't have to craft something right then and there. It can be convenient if you have it, but it is expensive to get, because even if you get the recipes, so you don't have to pay this price here by not having it, you still have to pay this price here. Well, not on this one because it's the 50, because I think it's the 3540, but still, there. If you have to still do the 45, which, God, it's been so long since I've done it, I can't remember, but if you're a badge hunter and you want all the badges, then you got to do this tier, and those are for sure really expensive. So the Field Crafter isn't too bad, but you know, it's still there's some monetary outlay for it to get it. Best way is to look at the wiki for that. It has some tips and like a couple checklists that you can print out that help you keep track of which ones you need, and so on and so forth, because it can be pretty daunting. It's best to print that out and keep track of it from the start, so that you know what you need and you don't. I mean, if you got a bunch of alts, it won't matter, because you're going to have to craft a bunch of stuff for them. That's why I got all this junk. Because if you've watched any of my other stuff, and I didn't introduce that here, but I can do that right quick and show you before I sign off. I mean, you kind of saw when I scanned through my supergroup base, but just to show again, since if you're new to watching, or when you stumble upon this, if you haven't watched all the other videos, I have 130 characters. They're in alphabetical order by archetype, which is kind of class. We haven't gone over that exactly because I haven't done it. I did the character creation one, and I go over it more heavily in that, but blasters are first. Ranged, I colloquially call them glass cannons because they don't have a lot of defense. I have quite a few 50s, some newer ones that I made. Yeah. Yeah. Brutes. They were the villain tanks back before you could swap alignment, because you couldn't have a tank on the villain side when they made City of Villains. Um, they had a whole set of different archetypes for the villains that weren't quite the same as the heroes. Brutes have their primary as a damage dealing and their secondary as their armor or defensive power, whereas tanks, it's swapped. Primary is defensive armor, secondary is damage dealing. So brutes do a little more damage but don't have as good a survivability until you get to higher levels. Then you have really good survivability as a tank. Same thing, blasters were hero side only. Villains, I think, were corruptors, were their counterpart. Controllers were just hero side, and then dominators, I think, were the villain counterpart. Yeah. There's the corruptors. But see, now you can be either or. It doesn't really matter. Defenders were the healing class, and that was the hero side. The villain side were shoot, now I can't remember what they're called. We'll run into them here in a moment. But see, you can be a villain defender now. But not all defenders are pure healing. The empathy is the main one. But there's all kinds of power sets. There's the Dominator, which I think is the controller villain, but again, doesn't really matter anymore. And then the special epic kind of archetype, which is Rachnos Widow, Rachnos Soldier, and War Shader Peacebringer. Masterminds used to just be villains. They're the pure pet. You can go pure pet damage dealing. And then Scrapper is a melee DPS. They used to not be. And then Sentinels are a newer one that is arranged with a little more defense than Blasters. So yeah. And Stalkers were the villains melee DPS that also had like a hide feature where they were kind of like what would be like a fantasy RPG rogue, because they can go stealth and hidden and do a sneak attack for a lot of damage. So yeah. And then the tank. And I have a lot of tanks. And then my last 2 pages, because I don't have anything on this page, are my mules that carry stuff for me. Recipes and enhancements and recipes. And I'm not so worried about losing the name. Nobody's going to want to call their tune ENH Mule 30 or REC for Recipe P, Recipe PO, Recipe QR, Recipe S, Recipe SO, Recipe T. So yeah, I'm not too worried about losing that name. But yeah, I've got a lot of tunes. I track all of them on a spreadsheet. The mules I don't really track in the main body of the spreadsheet because I don't play them. I auto-complete them to get them some levels so that they have more storage capacity from time to time. but I don't play them. I just do auto completes to get them levels. The other ones I play from time to time, and then yeah. So I think looking at my sheet, my spreadsheet, I have roughly. Man, I wish this thing would stay open all the way. I have roughly, and I haven't added a couple to the list because they're lower level. I will fill them in later, but I probably have close to 110 then. Well, it's easy to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And so 18 minus 130. Yeah, 112 characters that I play from time to time. 58 at level cap of 50. Only a few that aren't level 10 yet, and that I think, yeah, Mama and Papa are 2 of them. And then Pyroclast is now, yeah, almost level 20. And then I think, yeah, she was under a little bit ago, but now I've got her over level 10. So yeah, I only have 2 characters that are under level 10 at the moment. And I'm sitting at about an average level of 33 because of all the 50s that I have. For my first couple 50s, I didn't keep track of when they hit 50 after the second one. I started keeping track. I started playing February 6th, 2020. Mr. Squishy and Vito were my first 2. And Squishy came in 2020, and Vito came early to mid 21. I was still working back then, so I didn't, I could play, but I wasn't playing a ton. After 21, I wasn't working so much or at all. 22, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In 22, I basically got 10, almost 1 a month. Technically, I got 1 in January, 2 and 3 in February, 2 in March. Took a little break from getting 50s and didn't get one till August. And then October, November, December. 23 was a busy year. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11. It's almost 1 a month average. 24 was a very busy year. Not really, because I leveled 26 characters via the whatchamacallit, April Fool's event. Let's see, can I bring this in? Will it show up? Probably not, unless I log out. So let's log out, and I'll show you the spreadsheet right quick. And we'll see. I'll turn the game off. Yep, there it goes. Alright, so they're in basically the same order as on my opening page. If they are purple, they are fully slotted with all their enhancement sets and everything. And then their incarnates, what tier incarnate they're at. Tier 4 is the highest. And then D is done. If I need catalysts, if there's a number in front plus cats, I need 27 enhancements to get him to purple status, to almost done, and then however many catalysts I need to get to the D, to get to done status. So some of them only need catalysts, like Wilhelmina is purpled, but she needs 8 cats, and then she needs a lot of, not a lot, but quite a few incarnates to roll. And then level for my count, and then all the, if I need costume slots or not. And then again, their archetype, their primary, their secondary, their origin, level. And then if they're not level 10, I put a count over here, and then at the very bottom I have it, some formulas in. So I have 3,548 levels, 106 characters, which again, I need to update this. I haven't updated it in a couple weeks. My average level, and not at level 10 yet, because I don't have, there's Mama Magma, but I don't have her in as a number yet because she wasn't level 10. But I don't have her in the not level 10 column here. So yeah, I just haven't updated it. I don't know if I got Papa. I might not even have Papa on here. Oh, Oswald's another one that's not level 10 yet. I forgot about him. See, I don't have anything in there but zeros. And then the enhancement mules, what recipes they carry. Here's my list of when they completed, when they dinged, when they hit 50, how many hours to 50. These are just estimates. I should put estimates on there. And then lately, how many hours I've played total for that character. As you can see, some of them I've played quite a bit. My mains. And then some of them have this little indemnifier. Mostly the April event 2024. So yeah. Quite a few of them. There was one, the Prince of the Ravens. I totally started him during the event, and because of all the extra experience bonuses that we had last year, because of the them wanting more people to be on Reunion, it only took me 2 hours to get him from creation to cap. Yeah. And then, yeah, I had a couple that weren't during the event. And because I've just been slow playing this year, I haven't had anybody hit cap yet. Scatch was my last 50. And she's number 58. So, yeah. I've got this mostly April event 2025 because I figure that's when I'll get my first 50 this year. And I probably won't get as many because we won't have as much influence, or experience boost that they had last year, because we had a server boost, the boost from the event, and then I do the 100% boost. So yeah. Yep. And then the list of my tunes that aren't 49 yet. So Pop Rocks and Miss Tingle will probably be my first 50s this year. And then I'll probably be able to get at least another 8 or 10. I just probably won't get 26 like I did last year. But I should be able to get most of the other ones. I've got a list because I won't be doing any of my ice tanks that I've got listed right here, because they're tanks and I can level tanks real easy by just playing. So unless I just get really bored and decide to level a tank during the event, these guys won't level. I'll level them throughout the rest of the year, and then maybe next year, whatever I don't get leveled this year, if I want to level some of the tanks, maybe I'll level some of my ice tanks. But yeah, well, it's no big deal. But yeah, that's my main spreadsheet. There's the ice tank list with the few that don't have anything because I haven't made them yet. There's like 1, 2, 3 that I haven't made, a 4 with the radiation, and then a list of everybody by alphabet, and then by type, just color coded, just to cross reference with that, and then in level all the 50s and then the ones that aren't 50, so I can kind of just see by color code. And I haven't updated it because I don't have. Yeah, I should do a whatchamacallit on it so it can do a database on it, but man, I haven't done that in so long. I don't want to fiddle around with that. That's just something I don't need to keep totally up to date, but it's just fun to look at occasionally, and then I'll be like, hey, let's update it, and then I'll just manually update it. It'll give me something else to do. But yep, that is the big list of my spreadsheet for all the characters that I have. Well, and then just show you the mids for Papa right quick. That's his build. With all the slots. Full Armageddon. 6 slotted. Crushing Impact, Stone Fist, Aegis, and Fire Shield. Hover with the obligatory Global Recharge, Healing Flame. This is an auto, I'm sure. Yep, so only 3 slotted. Taunt with my typical 4 slot. Except I threw side damage in there because I thought it was funny. Obliteration. Evasive Maneuvers. Plasma Shield. Archetype, Tanker Archetype, and Burn, and Seismic Smash. Oh, hey, cool. Oh, shoot. Which one did I do in? Yeah, we might swap that out. They finally did these. Finally put Cupid's Crush on. I put it in on the other thing as a placeholder, so I can go ahead and swap that out, and now it will be correct. And now let me see if I should put end cost recharge. What's the damage at? So right there too, you can see the ED, pre-ED is all those damage percentages added up to 129.85%, but because of the enhancement diversification, it scales it to 99.48. So if I swap out this damage recharge for the end recharge, what does that change? Not a whole lot. I lose, what was it, 98 something, so, or 99 something, so I lose not quite 4%, but I get my end and recharge back a little faster because they haven't hit ED yet. So I'll probably do that instead of the damage recharge. So yeah. And then I'll just save that. And there we go. But yeah, I haven't put in his incarnate powers, because you can do that too. Which alpha will probably be cardiac, radial, end cost, increase range, end cost, damage resistance, radial, judgment will be pyronic, which is fire, targeted wide range, chance for foe disorient, superior dot, final interface, preemptive or chance for end, recovery. Oh, let's do degenerative. Oh, that's a toxic dot though. What's preemptive? Moderate dot energy. Okay. There's nothing that's fire. Oh, hey there, moderate fire damage over time. There we go. Resistance debuff. We'll go with the higher percentage on the dot. And then, and no, and then. Phantom Warworks, Challenge, Storm, Demon. Man, I can't decide. Let's go Demon, Superior, Destiny. Will be, of course, be Rebirth, Radial, and Hybrid. Should I do Assault or Melee? I think I'll do Assault. Okay. There we go. So now that's in there too, so I can, when I get to 50 and start Dark Astoria. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Save one more time and end. Alright, well, I'll stop this crazy train, and I'll be back on later. Y'all have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.